Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Steven here, Northwest Small Batch Brewing. It is time for, it's been a while, let me tell you, it's been a minute, but it is Single Malt Sunday, believe it or not. And I am joined today by today's single malt, which is from Virginia Distilling Company. This is called First Cut Cigar Blend. And you'll see I have a couple of other bottles here. They're also from the same brewery, or same distillery. This one is the Brewers Coalition Stout Cask Finish. And then this one is the Brewers Coalition Gingerbread. Well, it's also Stout Cask Finish, but it's a Gingerbread Stout Cask Finish. I'm a big fan of Stout Cask Finish whiskeys, although these two were not that great, to be honest. And so I'm giving them one last chance here to try to redeem themselves, basically. So I'm going to see if I can start opening this bad boy while we learn about this. So this is obviously classified as an American single malt. Sorry about this. I'm having a little bit of... I hate when they make these things so strange. There's no pull tab or anything on this. That's what's weird. Hang on, I think I found something. Oh my god. Normally, I wouldn't do this on video, but what the heck? Anyway, I'll keep trying to pluck away at this. American single malt. It is therefore 100% malted barley, and it is a 7-year-old whiskey. It says right on it, aged for 7 years. The average for this one, what that means, by the way, let me back up. So what that means is that it's aged for a minimum of 7 years. Anytime you see the age on a whiskey, that's the minimum amount of whiskey. There's usually older whiskey than that in it, but that's the youngest of it. The average whiskey age of this is 7 years and 10 months. Oh, I got a synthetic cork. Interesting. 108 proof. So we're talking 54% ABV. So this is definitely, you know, cask strength. So that's got it going for it. They usually tend to have a lot more flavor when they're cask strength. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. So what else? So let me tell you about the casks that they use to make this, because this is typical of cigar blends. Cigar blends, by the way, if you're not familiar, does not mean that this is meant to be smoked with it's not supposed to smell or drink like a cigar. It's supposed to be something you drink while you smoke a cigar. It's supposed to have make a good complement to each other. I don't smoke cigars, but I have often found cigar blends quite enjoyable. So there are 8 distinct cask types used to make this particular whiskey, and that is common. Cigar blends are usually aged in a lot of different barrels. So this was aged in sherry barrels, port barrels like port wine, Cabernet wine barrels, Armagnac barrels, cognac barrels, Fino sherry barrels, and then finally it's finished with just a whisper of a peated Islay barrel. Woo! So there is a lot going on there. A lot of barrels going on there. The history of this whiskey is that it's obviously a cigar blend. Cigar blends are traditionally some sort of cognac finished whiskey. It's blended or brought to you as an American single malt. The blender for this one is Amanda Beckwith at Virginia Distilling. Blended in 2025 and released just this year. So this is, although it's 7 years old, they just released it, just became available to release to the public. And then, as I said, they added some peat at the end to bridge the gap, sort of give you the feel of like a lit cigar. You know, I don't know that it's going to have that effect, but that's kind of like, I guess, what they are trying for. The distillery itself, and then I'll get into the tasting here. This distillery is pretty young still. It was founded in 2011 by Dr. George Moore. It's in Lovingston, Virginia. And Dr. Moore passed away in 2013, so only a couple years after they founded this distillery. I could be wrong, but I believe what I was reading, he died before they even made any whiskey. So the family, I think his wife and son, carried on basically his ultimate mission in this distillery. They kept it going, and for them, that's how it came and continued as a business. Their sort of flagship line was launched in 2020 called Courage and Conviction, if you've heard of it before. It was named after the late Dr. Moore's favorite phrase, which is have the courage of your convictions. And that whiskey won Best American Single Malt in 2026, believe it or not. So let's get into this. Let's nose it. Very aromatic, as you would expect. Think of all the barrels that this thing has been put through. Very complex. You kind of get, like red pomegranate on the nose. Definitely dark berries. Like raspberries. I was getting a lot of sweetness there a second ago. Leather. Musty tobacco, like dusty, musty tobacco leaf. Maybe a little malted milk. That's kind of the sweetness that you're getting from it. And this is a hard one, but you kind of get like a faint hint. Yeah, of a struck wooden match. I know we don't use them much anymore, but the older generation will know what I'm talking about. When that match gets lit, that sort of sulfurous burn smell. Definitely getting some honey. I'm going to just sip first and let my palate get used to it because it's a strong ABV. But my initial thought on it is yum, which is thankful. Because the other two, as I said, whiskeys from this place, I wasn't really that excited about. It's very warming, as you can guess by the proof on this thing. It's structured. It's got a really heavy mouthfeel. You get a lot of... so one of the tricks is to breathe in at the same time, if you can, through your mouth and your nose. You get less burn, and you get a lot more of the aroma. And again, I'm getting like vanilla, creme brulee, like burnt sugar, right, on the creme brulee. Fruit cake, all those dark dried, fruits, dried pineapple. A little bit of walnut. It's not super big on the walnut, but definitely like I say, like a creme brulee or vanilla bean custard sort of in there. A little zesty brightness. I'm going to take another sip here. This is, it is warm today, so this is probably not the best temperature to drink this. It's at room temperature right now, but it's probably a good, 78 degrees in here Fahrenheit. That's good. That's really good. Very long finish. Very dry. You kind of get unsweetened cocoa, like baking cocoa on the finish. A little bit of clove, like baking spices, nutmeg. A little bit of sort of balsamic on the finish. And honestly, I'm going to taste it one more time here, but I'm struggling to get the smoke, the peat smoke. I know it's what they wanted, but I also know that from what I read, it was a very small amount of peat smoke. I don't really smell it. I'm not really sure about the peat smoke. If I'm really catching that. Anyway, I'm going to add a little water to it, because that's what we do. You never know. Let's just do 3 drops. I know I mention this every time, but Lady Fermenter, we did a collaboration one time, and she sent me, along with some sort of experiments she did on different whiskeys, these little vials. She sent me a couple of these vials that you just put some distilled water in this, and it's great for putting water into your whiskey because you can really control how much you put in. I know you can get the little, fancy whiskey droppers, but the pipettes, but my nose is so stuffed up. It's hard to really get a good nosing on this, but I think I brought out the water, like proofing it down a little bit, brought out a little bit more of the fruit. It's much sweeter smelling now. More honey, cinnamon. Yeah. Definitely has, I can see the oils clinging to the glass. You probably can't tell on camera, but it's definitely coating my glass. Okay. I don't know if I like that better. I don't like it worse with the water, but I don't know if I like it better. I like the, it's a tough one. It definitely takes away a lot of the hefty burn from the high proof by adding just a few drops of water. But it definitely took away some of the flavors, and I kind of miss that. So if you're struggling to drink this because of the proof, I don't think it would be a bad idea to put a little bit of water in it. But definitely try it without the water to get the full hit, because I think it's better without the water. But it's not terrible with it, so there you go. All right, I've gone way over than I usually do on these things. I usually try to keep them pretty short, but it's been a while since I've done a whiskey on a Sunday here with you guys. I would recommend this, although to be honest with you, I have a couple of other cigar blends that I like better, but I always like a cigar blend. I've never been disappointed yet. It's just such a complex whiskey when you get a cigar blend, because it's been finished in so many different barrels. It really takes a master blender to be able to come up with a really good whiskey, and it's good. It's really good. I wouldn't say otherwise. So anyway, I don't get the whiff of smoke, but everybody's palate's different. So at any rate, I'll be back the next time I have a new whiskey to try. And of course, if you're into beer, I always have beer videos going every week. I'm currently working on trying to get some of my backlog of full brew days edited to get those out, and some live streams that I do on Sundays. So come on back and check us out. I'll be here. Cheers, Sláinte.